Well, it's game 82 and the season finale for Edmonton, Vancouver, and, well, every other team playing in the National Hockey League tonight. And while not pretty, the Oilers are coming off an overtime victory last night over the San Jose Sharks, as are the Vancouver Canucks against the Oilers' first-round opponent in the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs. That, of course, being the LA Kings. Hyman and Besser notched the winners, and Edmonton will look to sweep the 4-game season series against Vancouver tonight here in Rogers Place. And that's exactly where we are to tee you up for tonight's game, as I'm pleased to welcome you to the Oilers TV live pregame show. I'm your host, Tony Brar. Thanks again for joining us here tonight, or sorry, this morning, I should say, on this Friday in Edmonton. We're going to tee up tonight's game by talking to Kyler Yamamoto and defenseman Duncan Keith, as well as head coach Jay Woodcroft. Stay tuned, just a few moments.
cameras half a sec here if that.
Sure.
Good, guys? Are these final games are they a little bit taxing just to try and stay focused and play half decent enough, but also obviously nobody wants to get hurt and you got your mind on other things at times?
Yeah, I think you don't really think about it too much. It's just another game, 82 games in the schedule. So, just go and do your job. And I think that, working on the habits that we've talked about from the day one, and that's all part of it now that we've clinched our spot.
You know the value that Darnell Nurse has to this lineup, and at this point, we're not sure if he'll be available. What kind of a job do you think you guys have done with him out of the lineup, but just how kind of gaping is that hole?
Yeah, it's a big hole. Obviously, he's a huge part of our team, especially our defense core. The way he can take up a lot of minutes, whether it's penalty kill, 5-on-5, power play. He's a huge part of our success. So we definitely miss him. But, I think that, when guys are out, especially guys that take up a lot of minutes, it's up to everybody to collectively, pick up the slack, whether that's in minutes or just in their play with whatever minutes they're given. So hopefully we can get him back soon. I think it sounds good, so hopefully he's back soon.
You guys are playing pretty well heading into the postseason here. There's a lot of guys in that room that really don't have a ton of playoff experience. How can they lean on you, or what kind of advice could you give them heading into the playoffs here? And it's a different animal completely than the regular season, but how can you help that along some of the guys that haven't been in this situation before?
Well, I think everybody's got to go through it themselves to experience it. It's their own personal experience within the team, and I think there's no better way to do that than just playing. So, we're all in it together in the moment, and that's going to be, the success we have is just staying in the moment and not getting too high or too low, and just trying to stay even keel, because there's a lot of good teams in playoffs, and obviously the Kings are a very strong opponent, very tough opponent, and it's going to be a tough challenge for us.
Is there an importance of finishing off strong the regular season here with a good effort tonight, and then using that to kind of springboard in the playoffs, or does this game mean much to you guys?
Yeah, I think you always want to play good and feel good about your game going in. We've done a fairly good job at that so far, so it's one more game that we're going to try to hammer down, and our habits and details in our structure, and but having said that, it's all about executing when the time comes.
Duncan, Dustin Brown's going to retire at the end of the season. You obviously would have gone head-to-head against him in some pretty big games in the playoffs. How do you sort of look at his career and why he's been such a good player for so long?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, long career for him, especially the way that the style of game that he plays. It's a physical, hard, heavy game. So, yeah, we've had a lot of battles over the years, and he was the captain for those cup-winning teams, and nothing but respect for him and his career and what he's been able to do. So we know that it's going to be a tough challenge against him and his team.
Duncan, you're now second in career block shots behind Chris Russell, over 2,000. Does it seem like you've blocked 2,000 shots?
I don't know. I try to block them with my stick as much as I can, but I don't know if they always get counted when it's your stick. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I guess if you play long enough, your numbers are going to be up there somewhat. So, it's pretty cool to be there with Russell and be on the same team as him. So hopefully we can keep getting some shots blocked.
Like, is there a method to blocking shots? You've played a long time. Did you, early in your careers, somebody tell you, okay, here's how you block shots in terms of sliding or getting in front of a shot?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of everything, really. I mean, it's, body positioning, anticipation, and, a little bit of, courageousness at times. But I think you got to be smart too. Sometimes there's a goalie in there for a reason that make the save. But I don't really know. I mean, I think the shot blocking has really picked up over the last several years, where forwards are doing such a good job of being in the lanes, and it really changes the game when forwards are blocking shots. So we'll see how that goes going forward.
Just one more. In your Chicago days, were you at the end of a season when you were going to the playoffs, did you want to rest before the playoffs started? Did you go to Joel or whoever and say, you know what, maybe I could take one night off with a couple of games to go in the season when you already clinched?
I never really think about it too much. Just kind of, assume that I'm playing, and I like playing. It's rather be out there playing, staying in the moment, taking what's right ahead of you. So that's a game tonight, and we want to finish hard. So that's where my mindset's at. It's kind of where it's always been over the past years too.
Duncan, a lot has been made about your team's play in the second half of the season, especially when Jay Woodcroft arrived. But you guys are winning games in different facets. How encouraging of a sign is that leading up to the playoffs next week?
Yeah, I think it's something that our team is excited about. We've come a long way in the last 2-3 months, so it's been a lot of work we've put in to our team game, and I think when we see that we play with structure and play the way we're supposed to play, that the chances of us having success go up. So I think it's the sign of a good team. But playoffs are always a different challenge, and it's going to be up to all of us to step our game up and continue to play that team game.
You guys have a chance to sweep the season series against Vancouver tonight. Do players think about that at all? Is that something that you guys take pride in?
I didn't know that, so I think every game you want to win, no matter who you're playing against, and no matter what the situation is, whether you've won or lost previously against the last team. So, I don't really think too much about it. Just try to get the win.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
Uh, 20 goals you got there last night. Tell me about the moment, and maybe anybody that had some family here last night too. So can you take us through everything?
Yeah, so my parents came in earlier with a couple family friends, so they were at the game, but it was just a good play by Himes and Leo. Himes gave a great pass to Leo, and Leo, he does what he does best, is just get guys open, and he pretty much gave me a breakaway, and luckily it snuck in.
I'll round off a little bit here, but to simplify, you basically have about half your points in the final third of the season. Did something specific change, or did just more pucks start going in? How do you sort of sum up that successful run?
I think maybe a little bit of both, but I feel like I'm finding my game, a lot more, the last 30 games here. Things are starting to go in, so feeling a lot more confident, but, just trying to play my game and, get better every day.
You've obviously had really good chemistry with Connor McDavid when you're up in that line, and then come down and play with Leon Draisaitl. How do they differ? They're obviously both incredibly talented players, but are there little subtle differences that when you got to play with one or the other?
I mean, it's tough. You're looking at two of the best players in the NHL right there. I would say Leo's more of a little bit more of a puck protection, play down low, like to hem in, and I think Davo's more of a dash in and out, off the rush, attack the net a lot more. So they're a little bit different, but, at the end of the day, they're both amazing players. They both play very similar games, and, they're both, it's unbelievable to play with them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but at the beginning of the season, it seemed like sometimes you were reluctant to shoot the puck. And then towards the end of the season, the more you shot it, the more success you were having, and it seemed like the more confidence you were getting in your shot. Is that a fair statement, and do you have more confidence in shooting the puck now than maybe you did at the beginning of the year?
I definitely think so. Ever since game one, my dad's been absolutely ripping me apart to shoot the puck a little bit more. So I think it's finally starting to click in, and, they're starting to go in, so it's good, and I got to keep it up.
Is that just because, you have that passer mentality and you're looking to make the play as opposed to being the finisher, I guess, growing up and going through?
Growing up, I feel like I was a pass-first guy. You started to kind of figure it out in junior a little bit. Like I said, playing with older players, I feel like you kind of get back into that mentality. Maybe you want to pass, make them happy a little bit, but, trying to figure out, the balance of, when to shoot and when not to.
Now, I know you guys kind of hammer home the focus on the day and then move on to the next day, but is there a lot of excitement about the playoffs? In 2017, this place was crazy, it was rocking, and now you're getting the chance to play in the postseason in front of fans again, which when they take that away, I guess people kind of miss it and realize how big it is, I guess.
Yeah, so this is going to be my first playoffs, in front of fans, and I'm excited. Just talking from like all the older vets, they say this town's insane. When it comes to playoff hockey, the fans are incredible. So, I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully it's going to be a deep one and hopefully a fun one.
Thanks.
Kyler, I don't know if you would agree with this, but it seems that there's a different style of physicality in your game this year. You're finishing lots of checks. You're kind of, maybe getting into it in a little bit of a different way. Do you think that element in your game has you prepared in a different way to take on playoff hockey?
It's hard to say. I think so. I think I'm just playing that. I think, when I'm a little bit more physical, I feel more into the game. I feel like I'm more engaged. I want to go get the puck more. And I feel like back in the past, maybe I was a little bit more passive. Wasn't sure whether to make that play or not to make that play. But, this year I'm just, what I think is right. I'm going to do it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does, great. But I'm just trying to play my game this year.
Kyler, over here, as a forward, does 20 goals, does it resonate? Okay, if I'm on the top six, I should score 20 goals. I mean, you watch players in the NHL, does that resonate with you? I'm a 20-goal scorer. I'm not a 13-goal scorer.
It's hard to say. It's definitely better than last year, right? So I'm not sure if you need 20, but you're in the top six for a reason. You should be scoring. So I definitely think, I want to keep this pace up and, throughout my whole career, and hopefully I can.
How much is playing on a line with Kane, who loves the physical part of it, does that rub off on you? Does it rub off on the rest of the players? He loves engaging physically.
I think so. I mean, anytime you see one of your teammates getting physical, it makes you almost want to do it. So when I play with him, yeah, I definitely, don't mind, getting into that physical action because I know he has my back if something happens on the ice and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely.
One last question. You raced into that pile at the end of that Like you just won the Stanley Cup. What was that all about? It was just game 81, and it was a shootout winner by Zach Hyman. What was that about?
Oh, I don't know. You know, I'm just excited for my teammates. You know, anytime somebody scores, it doesn't matter who. You know, I'm excited for them. You know, it was a great play by Nugent, Himes, and Cooley. So, you know, I was excited for them, and yeah, I was just showing love for them, and you know, they won the game for us. So I was pretty sparked about that too.
Thanks.
You were talking about your dad. This past summer, was it his idea, your idea, or just a collaboration to come up with the shooting apparatus? And is that something that has helped you?
What he made this, it's definitely helped me, but I think it was, you know, I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to do it. But then, I mean, he put his brains to work, and, you know, he created it, so I give a lot of props to him for making that, but I definitely think it helped me this year.
And if I may ask, did you have like a routine every day, every second day, twice a day, how many pucks you shot? Just what was your pattern, or if you had one?
I would try to get at least 100 shots, but usually it'd just be me and my brother. You know, we would just go out, you know, in the backyard and just shoot a lot of pucks and try to work on our velocity, picking corners and stuff like that.
Kyler, just kind of piggybacking off what Reed asked earlier, late in the season, obviously the points are accumulating for you in the last 4 games, you have 5 points. And in the past, you've come through in the clutch for this club, most notably this year in St. Louis. Does pressure hockey bring the best out of you, and do you look forward to that and those moments?
I love pressure hockey. You know, as a competitor, you know, you always want to be in those situations. You always want to be, you know, in the playoffs. Game 7, you always dream about it. So, you know, I definitely think it does, and yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Reed.
We just had Kyler out here, and to sort of make the numbers, just round them off so they're easy to talk about. He has about half his points, but in the final third of the season. What do you think has allowed him to be more productive in that time?
Well, I think the best players rise to the occasion when it matters most. And in the last third, I don't know that the playoffs were an answered question. We had to work to get into the playoffs, and he led the way not only with his points production, but with the way he was playing the game. And because of that, the team is in the position it's in, is because of the work of our leaders that set the tone for the rest of the group. And we've had lots of architects and lots of bricklayers that have all pulled their weight and got us to this spot here in game 82.
From what you've seen of him when you've coached him, it seems like, and he talked about it a couple weeks ago, like he can kind of embrace being a little irritating. Would you, what could you say about that quality in him?
Yeah, I just think he rises to the occasion no matter how he gets pressed, whether it's on the ice, off the ice. He's somebody who's driven to be the best in the world. He's also driven to win. And he's done a really good job of leading that group of players in our dressing room.
Jay's, just some housekeeping here. Darnell Nurse, any update on him?
Yeah, he's had some good days here. He's not going tonight.
And Zach Cassian?
Cass is good. He is going tonight.
And do you plan on resting anybody in particular tonight?
Yes.
McDavid and Draisaitl?
Yes.
Any others?
Both of those players will not be in tonight's game.
Okay.
Is that a pretty easy decision to make at this point? How does that happen? Like,
Yeah, I think the way that decision happens is we talk about as a coaching, kind of what we said yesterday. We talk about as a coaching staff, a management group, and then we talk with our players about it. And we just think it's a smart move heading in to playoffs that could start as early as Monday.
We don't know necessarily on Darnell. You said he had a couple of good days. I think that is somewhat of a positive. But from what you've seen from your blue line, I mean, it could feel like a pretty catastrophic hole with Nurse not there. But have you seen things from your blue line without him that, kind of lead you to believe that the guys are able and doing a good job of filling in?
Yeah, I have. I've seen people elevate their game. Obviously, Kulak has really stepped it up in that position alongside Cece, so that's a positive. Philip Broberg comes in. He'd been out for a while. He played a few games in Bakersfield, and then for him to come up and score his first NHL hockey game, or first NHL goal last night in a big moment, I think that's a positive sign. Have a real comfort level with his skill set and what he can bring to our decor. I think, we've asked that group to keep it simple, and they've played very well here for us.
Did we ask who was starting in net? So Smith tonight or Koskinen?
Did you ask? Can you ask?
Smith or Koskinen tonight? Or?
Koskinen will go tonight.
Okay, thanks.
Was that a consideration because it's back-to-back, or did you just decide Mike's played enough hockey?
Yeah, again, it kind of goes to that process. We sit and we talk with amongst coaches. I talk with Dustin Schwartz, our goalie coach, and then involve the player in that as well. And we think he's played a lot of really good hockey down the stretch here, and he'll be ready as we move forward.
Duncan Keith is going to play this evening. Is that true?
Duncan Keith is playing this evening.
He's a 38-year-old hockey player. Was there any consideration to resting him in this last game?
Yes, there was consideration.
Was that his call or your call?
It's a combination of both.
He said he wants to play. I like playing, so I was wondering.
It's a combination of both, yeah, for sure. I think the daily interactions with your players, you get a feel for that kind of thing. You kind of take straw polls, and you understand where their opinions lie and whatnot. And Dunk's a gamer, and he wants to play.
Broberg will not play?
Broberg will not play tonight.
Okay, is he going back? Has he gone back to Bakersfield already?
Not that no.
Look, you got one final league game. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, I thought it was important for him to come up last night and get his, because he played very well before he went back down the last time. Then he got hurt early and he missed some time. So I just wanted to make sure that he got an NHL game in before we began our playoff run.
And what do you want to see from Josh Archibald, who's not played very much when he actually has played the games? What do you want to see so that he's going to be ready to play in the playoffs, because he hasn't played a lot in the last month?
I want him to demonstrate what he has over his career in terms of the ingredients that he brings to a team. I see a player who's high energy. I see a player who's good on the penalty kill, who skates well, and is physical.
Is Darnell Nurse skating yet?
He didn't skate today.
Okay. Is there a chance that you would go 11-7, even if Darnell looks like he can start the playoffs, because you're not sure, you don't want to get caught in case he can't?
We could. I think what we've demonstrated here since the middle of February is that we're flexible. We can win in numerous fashions, and we have a lot of really good players to choose from. So what I'm most excited about is a lot of those players have made our decisions difficult. We'll sit down as a group and try and come up with the best lineup possible.
So are all those players who do not normally play on the first power play, are they all got their hands up tonight because Leon and Connor are not?
I don't know. Certainly they had a good game yesterday. They were pretty, they scored a big goal for our team and had numerous chances.
Thank you.
Jay, what was the conversation like? Give us an idea. Leon and Connor, we know they love to play and want to play, but they likely understand that this is good for them and good for the team to just get an extra night off.
Yeah, I think it's just about, making sure their energy levels, their complete wellness is where it needs to be heading into a playoff series. And we're fortunate to be in the position that we're in. We know where we're going to be. We know where we're going to start. We know who our opponent is. And the side benefit is that we're allowing some other people to be reintroduced to our lineup and get up and running, because we know that come playoff time, you're going to need lots of people. So you want people feeling good heading into that playoff run.
Jay, just going back to Yamamoto, you talked about how he rises to the... He also brings a tenacious and agitating style about him. How well does that bode for you guys heading into the playoffs next week?
Yeah, I think it's good. I've seen this player ever since he was introduced to the organization. I think that tenaciousness is contagious amongst other people. He does a lot of work for other people. And because he does, he is a popular request as a line mate. And I also think that he, over the last few weeks, we've really introduced him to more penalty killing time, and he's been a big factor in why the penalty kills headed in the right direction.
I know you deal in the present, but I have to ask this question anyway. Will you be having dinner with Todd McClellan on Sunday and then saying you will not speak? Offs are over.
You know what, I can't speak that far in advance, but I would imagine that, especially come playoff time, you're worried about your own team and being with your own people. Without reading the tea leaves into the future, I can comfortably say that, no, that will not be happening.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.